Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Kind Community Show. I'm your host, Jana, and we share stories of founders, activists, and influencers promoting positivity and protection of our planet, discussing how collaboration can help make the sustainable attainable. Every day, around 8 million pieces of plastic makes it into the oceans. It's crazy. And on UK beaches, there are over 5,000 pieces of plastic and around 150 plastic bottles for each mile. On today's show, we have Chris Desai. After a varied background of music and fashion, Chris has now returned to his first love, nature. Equipped with an explorer's attitude, he has pursued the cleaning up and preservation of one of Earth's most vast and precious assets, its oceans. This has led to the UOcean Project. The initiative has spread rapidly across the planet, reaching over 33 cities, and its mission statement of removing 1 billion kilos of marine plastic by 2030. Chris is here today to talk to us about his journey, the importance of our oceans, and how you can get involved with the preservation of our important natural spaces. Hello, Chris. It's wonderful to have you here today. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. I love the t-shirt.
Hey, there you go.
So it seems like you've been involved in a wide variety of fields from a young age. Tell us a bit more about them, and at what point did you decide to commit to conservation?
No, of course. To be honest, I was raised in nature. You know, it was from my mum's side that my mum loved sailing. She loved hiking. She loved walking. So from a very, very young age, I always had access in that respect to the countryside and things like that. So it developed from a young age. My passion, I just thought it was very normal, you know, on the weekends to go sailing or to go walking or hiking, go to the Peak District or Bradgate Park. You know, it was very, very normal. And yeah, I think from that it spurred on. So I think the way that you're raised, you know, does have an impact in later life a lot of the times. So my love for nature started at a young age, especially from my parents.
So we understand you've always had a close relationship with nature, but for many, that opportunity to develop this love and explore our environments remains a far-flung idea. Where did this love for the natural world originate for you, and how did you most effectively reconnect with it? How would you recommend others to do the same?
No, of course. So to be honest, it started from the first time I visited a river and a stream. You know, there was a stream that used to go behind our house. And I remember just sitting there for hours watching it. And I used to lift all the rocks up and see what creatures are under there, you know. And I just had this healthy respect that I understood somehow that it was an important part of the world, but I didn't fully get at a young age how important or how it's all connected. And I think then as I got older, I went onto the water, obviously sailing and things like that. And then that was it. You know, as soon as I hit the beaches in Cornwall and Devon and Norfolk, I was just, you know, my passion kind of grew and grew and grew. But what I did find as well is that in my daily life, it was far from that because I was working in central London and things like that. I was never near the water. So you then kind of actually, even though you love it, you fall away from it. And being in the city as well, I understood how many kids don't have that opportunity to be able to go to the water. And that ultimately, which we'll speak later on, obviously, is about how the UOcean Project started and how, you know, the ocean plastics start inland. So actually, it's the inner city kids. It's the kids that actually have the least access to these places are actually probably going to save the oceans, you know, because they're gonna stop 80% of that getting to the ocean. So you don't have to be, you know, super privileged, hyper privileged, you know, living on a beautiful beach somewhere to have an impact in the global oceans.
So Chris, how would you recommend others, reconnect with nature?
Do you know, I would literally say, I mean, feel free to join us. We would love people to volunteer with us. But the other thing is, it's about, you know what, there's canals and rivers that run, you know, 2,300 miles across the United Kingdom. So pretty much wherever you are, there's going to be a local river, a local canal. Our hubs now stretch from Edinburgh all the way to Dorset. So wherever you are, if you get in touch with us, we can easily put you in touch with our local leader, and they will take you out to the waters. They will take you to the rivers, to the canals. They'll teach you about the conservation. You can do litter picking. We can actually find, a place by the water for you to reconnect with it.
Love that. So reach out to UOceans, Chris, and sit outside your door, explore, try and get to reconnect with nature. And one thing that I'm not sure many people actually mention is like if you can, take your shoes and socks off. Actually connect the bottoms of your feet to nature. It's that kind of earthing feeling. It feels wonderful if you can. Obviously, be careful where you are walking, so you don't. But try to do that. At Kind, look, we're centered on power of communities, a collective of people making incremental changes that together, compounded up, can have a huge impact on the planet. UOcean is, of course, similarly powered by communities. Can you share with us a story that, in your experience, has truly demonstrated the collective power for change?
Yeah, so I think the first chapter that we ever started was in Hertfordshire, and it was literally in this little town called Apsley. So there was a community there that was by a marina, and there's the Grand Union Canal stretches all the way through the middle of Hemel Hempstead and Hertfordshire. And you know what? It was littered, plagued with rubbish, plastic, and people were openly just walking by and throwing it into the canal. And I remember when I started the group down there, I said to people, you know what? There's no point in being, getting confrontational or anything like that. Just start cleaning it up. I said, as soon as you start cleaning it and people see you cleaning it, it will actually make them feel some kind of way about littering. And, we started off with one person, which was myself. And then, the next week there was 5 of us. Then there was 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, right up to around 70 people. And we were going out so regularly for a 1 hour of exercise, right? All individuals going their own individual way during lockdown, that we covered the entire span of, Hertfordshire and the canals. And literally, when I say we were cleaning up, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bottles and crisp wrappers every single week or every single day. And we started to gain massive amounts, of this. But after the first 3 months, guys, that wow, more and more people were coming out and sitting by the canal. And like you said, taking their socks off, I'm not saying get in the canal or anything, but they were sitting on the edge and they were on the pieces of grass. And it was like, oh my gosh, is it just me, or are more people actively around the water? And then we started getting letters from local residents saying, do you know what? The antisocial behavior in the area has gone down. People are staying out later by the water, like families. Kids are going down there on the bicycles, and we realized that just the removal, and it was just us being out, was such a deterrent that these people that were littering were just cycling on or walking on, or, they were looking for a bin. And a lot of time it was about the fact that they felt no one was watching, allowed the bad behavior to continue. But by us being a continuous presence in that area, still to this day, we still get letters, and we've, from other organizations saying we can't believe the change in the area. It's changed the dynamic, that more people are out by the water, sitting, laughing, having fun. And it's just because the litter, there is a direct link between pollution and crime. It's actually a known fact.
Wow, I love that. Really proud of that change there that you've had. On the topic of communities, this is perhaps a good time to mention about our upcoming event that we've partnered with on. Kind Community and UOcean Project are partnering up this Saturday, the 5th of June, to celebrate National Volunteers Week. We'll be hosting the event at Regents Park.
Yep.
Canal Clean-Up and networking over drinks and food. We'd love to see you there. It's our first in-person event, and please do come along. It's a great chance to meet new people, like-minded individuals, and do something kind for the planet. So feel free to message us after this or connect in the comments if you'd like to know more. Really looking forward to it, Chris. Hope you guys are as well.
We are ready. We're prepped. We're excited. Literally, we're going to make an early move in the morning, get everything set up, scout the area. The weather is looking amazing for tomorrow, which is going to be phenomenal. So, yeah, it's going to be a great day. 12 o'clock, Regents Park.
Great stuff. Well, we'll see you there. See you tomorrow, Chris. Looking forward to it. I'm going to make sure we're wearing our sun cream and that we're
Hey,
protected as well, so
definitely.
no sun damage.
There you
Um,
go.
so they say that we know less about our oceans than we do about space. While this might not strictly be true, our oceans remain shockingly unexplored. 12 people have been sent to space, but only three to the deepest part of the ocean.
Yeah.
The Mariana Trench. This is unknown. Is this unknown something that drives you? Like, do you feel drawn towards the like like the mysteriousness of the deep sea,
Yeah.
or are you less concerned with the discovery and more about preservation of what we already know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's human nature and it's human instinct to want to explore, to conquer. That's what it's the survival of the fittest, all this kind of thing. And I think by doing that, we actually lose focus. We lose the relationship that we should have because we're so focused on advancing society from finding new things that we forget to look after what we already have. So to me, I love the ocean. I mean, the ocean is the most beautiful, mysterious entity that that my life revolves around. And I've dedicated my life to preserve. So what's at the bottom of the sea? Who one knows? No one knows. But what I do know is they've found plastic bottles 3 miles down already. And that is what scares me. The fact that our pollution now isn't just going. You're not going to have little kids going, "Oh my gosh, I wonder what's at the bottom of the sea." Well, actually, I can tell you, there's plastic bottles in our pollution. So I think we're ruining it. We're ruining the mystery of the sea by filling it with known things, right? Known pollution, known plastic. So my version, my intent, my consciousness is on the preservation of what we know and getting it right. Why should we be going deeper and deeper and further when we can't even keep it clean? That's my biggest thing. It's like, why are we sending people to space when half the world's starving? It doesn't make sense. This is thinking individually. It's not thinking as a community, as a planet, as a colony. And that's what we
Yeah.
are. We're not sustainable. And that's the issue. And ocean plastics is not sustainable. You can't keep throwing it in, expecting it to not have an effect. So yeah, the idea is that actually I'm all for preserving what we've got now.
Yeah, I'm all for that, Chris. Loving what we know, loving what we have, and not thinking that we should move on to the next thing. We're done. Let's learn to cherish and love it first off, and that goes not just to the individual items that we buy and purchase and consume, but also the planet that we're on. Let's consider: are we investing so much money in potentially looking at colonizing Mars when we should potentially invest that money on protecting the planet that we actually know and love and are able to live on? If we were able to live on Mars, we would be there by now. So let's think about that one. But let's take a moment to talk about Vayu, your ethical fashion brand. It's been voted the second most ethical fashion brand in the UK by the Good Shopping Guide.
Yeah.
Fair play. Accredited with a score of 86 ethical company index score.
Yeah.
What processes did you have to ensure you were adhering to, like, what sort of sustainability practices were you adhering to in order to achieve this?
Of course. To be honest, it started right down the chain at the head office. I mean, that was the idea that, if we could get it right at the top, we can definitely get it right at the bottom, right? So what we started saying to our staff, is, look, when we're sourcing, when you're looking at fabrics, break it down. Where does the fabric come from? What is it made of? What's the impacts? What's the end goal? What's the cycle? What's the lifespan? And why are we doing it? So the idea was right from the very, before we even designed a garment, we actually looked at the building blocks of designing a garment to make it sustainable. So is the process of the fabric sustainable? Then actually, how are the staff treated that obviously are making it? Do they have healthcare? Do they have childcare? What's their living situation? Are they paid a living wage? Is it enough for them to actually live? Are the conditions safe for them to work in? Look at the situation with the Rana Plaza, catastrophe where thousands of people died. because of lack of standards. And these were big name brands making in that factory that should be ashamed of themselves, because it was that, well, if no one can see it, no one knows. Well, that doesn't matter. You need to put yourself in their position. If I was making a Vayu garment, how would I feel? Would I be proud to make that garment? Would I be getting a fair wage? Vayu sells garments anywhere from £50 right up to 550. Is that fair? That's what we need to look at. So yeah, we decided to make a system where we used obviously Okeatex, we used GOTS, the Fair Wear Foundation, lots of accredited bodies to make sure our production was in line and audited and checked. But on top of it, more so was that us as a company, how do we feel about the garments? We don't use polyester. It's as simple as that. That's just one of our standards. It was like, why are we going to take plastic out of the sea to then, be putting more microfibers into our garments that are going to go back into the sea anyway? So we just use organic cotton, organic bamboo, things like that. We're not saying that these things, recycled polyester, is not good. And, people are making great products out of it. But as a brand, we just thought, what? Our customers like our organic cotton. So why not stick with it? And, then the way that we made things as well with the factory, that, they only catch the monsoon rains. So that, for instance, the water vats are so full from the rain that actually they use that for our production. And then it's got dieffluent systems, sand filtration pits, right to the point that after they've dyed our fabrics and, made beautiful things, that, they then can return the water completely untouched to nature, that it's actually drinkable. So, you go to the factory and you can drink the same water that has made your garments, and that is what we wanted. We wanted a full, transparent, circular kind of system, and and incorporated lots of other accreditation bodies involved, to try and help us be more transparent. Obviously nothing's perfect, and we're not trying to say we are perfect, because I think true sustainability is actually about not buying new clothes as well. Do you know what I mean? There's a double-edged sword here that, yeah, we all like to look good. We like to have clothes. We need to wear clothes to survive. But at the same time, are we buying too many? Why didn't, with our t-shirts, they're made so well that they will last you, 5 years, if not more. So it's about buying quality and paying a little bit more, and not buying, fast fashion.
Yeah, so conscious consumption and slow fashion.
Yeah.
So Vayu has its own registered environmental charity. We gather UOcean Project is just one initiative of this charity. Could you briefly talk us through the others?
Yeah, sure. So we run a few different projects. The UOcean Project was the first project we ever launched, and our charitable aims, basically, at the Vayu Foundation, are, one, to raise awareness of the Dalit untouchable castes in India, and you should have a look at our website and read more about that. These people are basically a wonderful, beautiful community of people that fall below the fourfold caste system in India about social status. And they basically, it's horrific how they get treated. And what we're trying to do is go in there as a grassroots foundation and change that, upskill, qualify, empower. We're not into, when people say, oh, we raise people up, we're not raising anyone up. These people, we're empowering them to raise themselves in that respect. It's about their needs. What do they need to break generational poverty? So, yeah, so the UOcean Project has got two sides to it. One, the litter pick, and then two, creating beach ranges and getting these people out of the situation that they've been in for thousands of years. And then the other project is called W10, which is wellness through environmental mindfulness. And that's basically more about mental health. So it's about connecting, like I was saying earlier, connecting people's green and blue spaces into conservation. So planting trees, litter picking. It's more of a broader conservation project, but it's so timely, because after COVID, there's so many people that are feeling isolated, people that need a community that they can go walking with, community they can help out with. So the W10 project is actually expanding very, very quick as well, just like the UOcean Project. So one, we're looking after the environment in both projects, but one's more about ocean plastics and one's about offsetting carbon.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, Chris. In your experience, what's been the most effective way of mobilizing a workforce of volunteers in the sustainable space? What do you find motivates most people looking at getting involved in charities like yours?
Yeah. Do you know what? I think honesty. I think what motivates people is to when there's no blurred lines. You know, when, for instance, then they're not put against a big corporate charity, you know, that's got hundreds of millions of pounds, and there's lots of, you know, kind of who's and where's and why's, and actually where's the money going? How is it being, you know, used and things like that. I think with us, we're so new and we're so like young without funding. It's very much that everything everyone does for this charity is out of the goodness of their heart. So I think that in that respect, it's very transparent that, you know what, if people don't love the environment, they don't get involved. You know, there's no kind of benefit apart from saving the planet, which should be the motivation, you know, in the first place. But there's no other benefit apart from actually preserving this beautiful world that we live in.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things that we've seen and how we get involved is that we know exactly what we need to do. We know how to do it. So we take action and get it done. It's there and then. There is no large system of red tape to jump through. We can
Yeah,
literally organize an event. We're there, we're hands on, and we're actually taking immediate climate action with you guys. So that's been a very tangible way of getting involved. And you see exactly what you're doing. You see it. You see the bag filling up throughout the
yeah,
day.
yeah,
You see the canals being cleaner than you left it. You see people enjoying the environment a lot more.
yeah.
So that's that great feeling that we get when working with you guys. So finally, what's next for the UOcean project, or even yourself? Are there any other dreams or ambitions in the pipeline?
Um,
What are you most hopeful for, and what keeps you up at night?
What keeps me up? My kids keep me up at night. No, not just that. So I think the next, you know what, at the minute, because we're a grassroots project, we're a year in, a year and 2 months into this, and we're 33 chapters in. We're all around the world. I mean, it's expanding at a rate where, you know, we're like, how do we keep up? How do we keep doing this? So for us, I'm very much open to new ideas. We're consistently expanding. I'm consistently investing into UOcean to make this work. You know, this is a passion project in that respect. If you believe in something, you invest in it. So I'm investing my time, my money, you know, everything to give the world a cleaner ocean. You know, to take that 1 billion kilos out. So the idea we hit that billion kilos in 10 years, we're doing well. If we hit it in 5 years, then do you know what? I'll put a target out there for 10 billion kilos, and we'll do that in 5 years. So, you know, it's just about, let's see how it progresses. I'm open to the different dynamics that the charity is working within right now. And I'm open and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm playing it by ear, and I just know that, you know, my heart's in it. So that's it, you know, no big plan, just do the job, pick the litter up.
Yeah, nothing small, just 1 billion kilos or 10 billion or five. It's I love that ambition, Chris, and the
Yeah.
passion. Now it's time for the quick fire round.
Oh no.
How do you define sustainability?
I think sustainability doesn't have a single definition. And I think if you was to define it, you would be missing out a huge section, because sustainability is individual to every single circumstance. So I don't believe there is a definition.
Oh, wow. Great answer there, Chris. Love that one. Like curveball back at us. Okay. What's your favorite sustainability hack?
Do you know what? I'm a big fan of just reusing things. I will reuse and repurpose anything. You know, after my t-shirts have had so many holes in them, you know, that I've had for the last 10 years, say, you know, they're getting cut into dusters. You know, after they're finished being dusters, they're getting cut into shreds and they're filling a pillow. You know, I'm very much about reusing things. So every jar, every container that I ever get is then washed out. You know, I repurpose everything. So that's my sustainability hack, that actually you don't need to do big things. Just use what you've got.
Love that. Okay. And what quick bit of advice would you give someone wanting to reconnect with nature?
Do you know what? I think accept the silence. I think you need to accept the silence. If you want to reconnect with nature, you don't need to book a £10,000 holiday to the Maldives. You don't need to go and buy a bird watching book. What you need to do is go to your local park, sit down, and just close your eyes. Listen to the silence. Listen to nature. Nature is shouting. It's screaming at you. The birds are singing. You know, the wind is rustling in the trees. Like nature is singing its song, but we're so busy we don't hear it. So my answer would be just embrace the silence.
What's a sustainable item that's, say, under £100 that you have, like, you love right now?
Sustainable item under £100. Let me think. To be honest, over this COVID period, I don't think I've bought anything. What do I like? What do I
Well,
like?
that's an answer. If there's nothing that's jumping out, then
I've not actually bought anything, so I can't say that. I can't actually say anything. The only thing I have done actually, so I did do this. There's a company called Back Market, and I bought a refurbished phone on there because my phone decided to explode. And what they do, they're amazing. That actually, instead of buying a brand new phone and, for instance, creating more and more waste, they take all these old phones, they refurbish them, new parts in them, and that. So I think it saved 86 grams of e-waste. That's the only thing I've got.
refurbished electronics. And what was the site again?
It's called Back Markets.
Back markets. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, interesting. Look, Chris, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been great learning more about you, about the various projects you're working on. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And once again, we extend the invite to joining us at our event tomorrow, 12 p.m. at Regents Park at the Hub. Please feel free to reach out to us for further information. We're really looking forward to seeing you there. Bye for now. See you tomorrow, Chris.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
If you've been inspired by my conversation with Chris today, please feel free to like, share, and comment, and potentially share this episode with someone that is passionate about reconnecting with nature. This has been the Kind Community Show. I've been your host, Giannavelli, and we'll see you again next week, Friday. Bye for now. Show.